Innocents' Day, 1917, Belmont, Trinidad. Irma Clark, a schoolmistress and piano teacher, gave birth to her only child, a boy. Her husband Cecil was delighted. They called him Ellis Emmanuel Innocent Clark. The Clarks were comfortably off. Trinidad then was a colony of the British, but young Ellis's education did not suffer for this. Take Ellis's grandfather, for instance.
When he did bookkeeping at some place, Ross's or something, of course I was told all these things, I wasn't born yet. And I understood that when he started, he sent his wife, who was our mother, with a baby on a holiday, and they traveled with their nurse, and that's what I was told. And the manager of the place where he worked, his wife had also traveled, and they were white people. And when she came back, I suppose she related this thing, how Mrs. Pollard was there with her nurse and baby, and they sacked my father. So that's how he opened his own business. So he opened this cocoa store, and he did very well.
Ellis's grandparents were a genteel, educated and religious family with good social connections. Among them, Muzumbo Lazar, an eminent lawyer who adopted one of Ellis's aunts, Hilda. Lazar was famous for his lavish parties in his stately home, which Ellis was to inherit, but racial barriers were still strong at the time.
Whites didn't have colored friends, and even some of the colored people, if they were in very good position, they didn't want the blacks, and so on. There was a lot of division. But we really knew a lot of colored people, you could call them. So much so there were some Jofois whose father was, you could say, white. The mother was white and the father was very fair. And he was my sister's godfather. That's Ellis's mother, you see. So we had friends like that, and we had black, we had colored, the white people respected my mother very much and father.
Ellis's father died when he was very young, and his mother was to be his greatest influence. Till the age of 7, he attended his mother's school, where his aunt Amy Pollard also taught him. At 3, he was meticulous, musical, and lived by his wit.
She told him, no, Ellis, you can't go there, it's ice cream. I want ice cream. She said, no, but you can't have ice cream now. You'll have it later because you were sleeping. You must have reason. I don't want reason. I want ice cream. That's what he said,
By the age of 4, he had learnt his tables.
He was pretty clever. And I would have to make him form the different figures and letters and so on. But I just couldn't get him to make the figure 3. Couldn't get him to make it, but at that time he could count, he could count from 1 to 100.
And was finicky about his grammar, as the family cook was to find out.
He would go into the kitchen with the cook and teach her tables, and then he was very careful of his English. So if he heard her say the wrong grammar, he would correct her. She'd say, I is. No, Elizabeth, her name was Elizabeth, not I is, I am.
At 7, he attended the Christian Brothers School, where he excelled. But to everyone's surprise, he failed to win the college exhibition.
All the accounts about me always picture me as an exhibitioner. I was not a very good... you're not a racing person, are you?
No.
All right. I wasn't a very good 2-year-old. I developed better as a 3-year-old than as a 4-year-old.
He went to that other place. I went to QRC. But I recall him as a chubby lad coming from Belmont and going across to St. Mary's College, quite often laden with books. He's a very studious young man. Most of us played some cricket or some football. I don't think he did much of that for St. Mary's, but we all knew that Ellis was going to go places.
I couldn't imagine him getting into a fight. As he speaks now, at that time also he spoke in the same sort of way. Very deliberate and everything else, very thoughtful. He always thought before he spoke, so he never said anything stupid.
He was a prize student of St. Mary's College and easily won all coveted academic accolades. But however bright, there was something of the innocent in Ellis, and his former classmates still remembers.
as a young boy, he joined the first Trinidad Sea Scouts. But, well, I don't know how long he remained in the troop, the Scouts, because you see, the first time he went on a camp, on a Scout camp, for instance, he didn't seem to appreciate that when you went on a Scout camp, you were roughing it and so on. He brought his nice teacup and sauce and so on, like if he was going out on a sort of a party.
In 1936, he won the gold medal and an Ireland scholarship. His performance was extraordinary. In 6 papers in Latin and Greek, his average was close to 90%.
The background of the classical languages, and we did Roman history and Greek history and higher certificate and so on. That certainly was a big advantage. You find people nowadays, they are quite ignorant. They don't do Latin or Greek anymore, and they're quite ignorant about ancient history, which is so important to understand the present.
Young Ellis always wanted to do law, and that is what he did. In 1937, he left for University College London and the bar at Gray's Inn, London.